Hello everyone and welcome to Fursuiting at Home. I hope you're all excited for a great convention. Please do engage with your fellow congoers and talk amongst yourselves in chat while the panel is going on. You're welcome to ask questions as they come to you as we go through the presentation, and I in fact encourage you to do so. I won't be able to answer questions while I'm presenting, but I'll respond to those after the panel. Please refer to your friendly online staff for the appropriate channels to discuss, comment, and ask your questions. There will be a recording of this panel available on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Shetani, in the days following this broadcast. The link to my YouTube channel should be up above my head to the left of your screen. So if you miss a part, if you want to go back and take notes or pass the info along to a friend who wasn't able to be here at the con, you can rewatch at your leisure. That will also be captioned for accessibility. Let's begin with a brief introduction. Hi, my name is Shetani, my pronouns are she, her, and my fursona is a king cheetah. I've been an active part of the furry community since 2012, though I had been following along for many years prior. I've been a fursuiter for 10 years and counting, and I initially got my start in the cosplay community. In fact, my passion for cosplaying and costuming in general heavily influenced my decision to get a fursuit, as I knew it was something I would have fun doing and be able to physically withstand from my background in cosplay. I will be mainly addressing fursuits throughout the presentation. However, these tips and advice can very easily be applied to cosplaying, LARPing, IRL transformation, puppetry, and other such pursuits. In this panel, I will discuss the role fursuiting plays in the furry scene, activities and ideas for at-home fursuiting, and socially connecting with the global furry community as a fursuiter, all from the comfort of your own home. Let's take a look at the situation at hand. The furry community is a vast and diverse space, and there are many different ways that we furries connect with the community as well as each other. Just like how you don't have to be a cosplayer to be part of any other fandom, owning a fursuit is not at all a requirement to take part in furry. However, there is a small yet vocal minority of us who enjoy fursuiting. For those of us who do choose to fursuit, it's a really fun pastime and a creative way for us to express ourselves. We've invested a lot of time and effort into this. Either you paid someone a great deal to make a fursuit for you just to your specifications, or you've made it yourself and put all of that time, learning process, materials, and everything into creating what are essentially 3D works of art. Our fursonas are characters that are very near and dear to us. Fursuiting is our form of cosplay, but it's also something more. Cosplays tend to be of existing characters from some sort of pop culture franchise. Fans and people who are familiar with these media all recognize these public characters. When furries fursuit, we're not just dressing up as a character from a video game or a movie that somebody else created. Fursonas mean different things to different furries, but in some way, each is a unique representation of its creator. We've made these characters ourselves and grown very attached to them, and having the opportunity to embody them in the flesh, so to speak, is personally significant. Fursuiting is not just a performance. In our community, it's a social activity. We've come to rely on fursuits as an aid for socializing, networking, and having fun. Many furries have some level of social anxiety, and no matter which side of the costume you're on, fursuiting helps break the ice and embolden folks to be more confident, able to speak to people they wouldn't normally have the courage to talk to, try new things, and go to places that they would never go before. I'm sure all you cosplayers can relate to this too. Naturally, conventions and meetups are where the bulk of these social gatherings take place. Though there is a big push within furry to return to physical events, the pandemic is still ongoing. Furcons, even those that enforce vaccination and masking in their rules, frequently become super spreader events despite everyone's best intentions. This put a lot of folks in a position where they still don't feel safe going to cons, fur meets, or other group gatherings, with or without their fursuit. It's important to recognize that a huge portion of the furry community point blank can't attend physical conventions for a multitude of reasons. These can include financial cost, travel, lack of accessibility, physical limitations, getting time off work or school, family obligations, and many other factors. Some furries just don't like conventions, and lest we forget, many people live in an area where there simply aren't any furry events happening. They couldn't attend one even if they wanted to. This begs the question, what do I do with my fursuit when I can't go to events or out with my friends? I love attending cons and have the privilege to be able to go to them when I can, but I don't attend nearly as many cons as some of the more prolific fursuiters and fandom personalities that you may see online. Before 2020, I was lucky if I could afford to get myself to one in a year. For this reason, I've gotten pretty good at thinking of fun ways to utilize my fursuit without having to rely on an external event. Shortly after the pandemic began, I noticed a lot of my fursuiter friends and peers on social media were lamenting that they didn't know what to do with their fursuits without conventions. They were completely at a loss and even talked about how they felt sad and disappointed looking over at their fursuit all packed away in their boxes untouched, waiting for the chance to wear it again. This threw me for a loop, to be completely honest, and I thought to myself, well, what's stopping you from wearing your fursuit right now? I realized that there was a niche that I could help fill and decided, why not share those techniques and ideas with my fellow fursuiters? So without further ado, let's get into it. One of the most accessible things you can do with your fursuit at home is taking pictures. Now, a lot of people hear the term photography and think you need expensive cameras and lenses and lighting setups and the whole 9 yards. While having dedicated photography equipment would be, of course, helpful, for a hobbyist or someone just looking to have fun, it's by no means required. There are many more qualified folks out there who give panels at furry cons about photography using actual camera equipment, so for that, I point you in their direction. I'll be discussing entry-level tips for casual photo taking. These days, almost everyone has a smartphone right there in their pocket, and the standard phone can do a lot more than folks give it credit for. This is definitely serviceable for taking fursuit photos. Now, every fursuit is built differently, and it has a different set of limitations. Some things are more difficult to do in fursuit if you don't have a handler, which is a second person not in fursuit to help you out. Depending on your situation, whether you live alone or perhaps your household members are not willing to help you out with your fursuiting, you may have to manage by yourself. Worry not. There are tons of tools to assist with doing smartphone photo shoots entirely on your own. The number one tool, which for me is a lifesaver, is voice activation. If you go into the settings on your phone's camera, there will likely be a toggle for this. On my Android phone, it's called voice control. You can say a command like smile or capture, and the phone will take a picture. I like to say cheese because it makes my eyes crinkle up, which gets better pictures for the style of fursuit that I have. This may be activated in the digital assistant feature of your phone if you use that. Voice control is super helpful for hands-free photography. If your fursuit has big, unwieldy paws, hooves, mitts, what have you, that are hard to get on and off quickly, or if you have attached arm sleeves and you can't remove your paw without starting to disrobe, you'll find this extremely helpful. You can even use it to record video, not just pictures, though we'll get to that later. For getting a full body shot or something staged like a wider shot in front of a backdrop, you're going to want to place your camera on something instead of holding it. I recommend investing in a tripod for this. Again, it doesn't have to be anything expensive or professional if that's not financially accessible for you. You can do a lot with just the little phone tripods with the bendy legs. Selfie sticks were super popular a few years back, so you probably have one just lying around the house collecting dust. Why not put that to good use? And of course, timers. You can set up the timer on your phone's camera or use an external timer, such as handheld remotes that pair to your phone using Bluetooth, Press the button and it takes a picture for you. If you have a smaller hand paw on your fursuit with more dexterity, you can use one of these pretty easily, or you can even hide it inside your paw so the remote isn't visible in the shot. If all else fails, you can always go for the hand behind the back pose. If you really want to make your pictures pop, a little editing goes a long way. Perhaps your camera isn't the best quality, or your picture came out a little blurry. Some very basic editing can help clear that up. You especially see this when taking pictures with the front-facing camera on your phone, as that is usually of a lower megapixel quality, and the photos you take may be a little more grainy or less clear. Many phones allow you to edit your photos right from the camera app, and various social media apps have a plethora of filters and tools you can use. Even Telegram, which you probably use if you're a furry, has photo controls that let you adjust the saturation, gamma, contrast, etc. of the pictures you're sending to make your shots look real snazzy. On the left here, we have a photo that, for all intents and purposes, looks like a failure. The fursuiter is in shadow, the colors look washed out, and of course, part of the camera person's thumb got in the shot. Those pesky fingers. However, it's not a lost cause. Just a few touch-ups are all that's needed to take this picture from trash to something worth showing off. Again, though you can totally go out and buy lots of fun new equipment, we're focusing on fursuiting at home with what you already have. If you don't have a tripod for your camera, you can just stack up a bunch of books or boxes and lean your phone on top. There's no need to buy pro light setups when a well-angled desk lamp will do the trick. Lighting honestly does a lot for good-looking photos, and often your fursuit will look different in natural and artificial light. Play around with this. If you don't have a secondary light source, wait until the height of the day and position yourself in front of an open window. See which you like best. Now, most of us don't live in a mansion or have a whole photo studio full of props and backdrops at our disposal. That's okay. This is all just for fun. Try rearranging your furniture, use different camera orientations, and basically see what you can do with what's available to you. There are many online tutorials and life hack style videos that show you how to do cool and creative photo tricks with what you already have in your house. A single green bedsheet and a little bit of computer magic can transport you to as many wild and crazy places as you can imagine. Social media apps like TikTok are even advancing to the point where you don't need a green screen to replace your background. So, how about some ideas for all these photos you'll be taking, huh? Well, let's start off with something nice and easy. You've got hobbies other than fursuiting, right? Right? Why not go ahead and show them off to the world? If your persona, like mine, is basically yourself, you can set up scenes that show what you like to do. Or if your fursuit is more of a separate character, you can think of activities that fit with their personality or the world that they live in. Here we've got Wad, who is not only a fursuiter but a fursuit maker, making fursuits while in fursuit. How cool is that? And Babbles the bunny is outside doing some gardening on a lovely sunny day, the perfect environment for a bunny to be in and something that really fits his character. Cosplaying is very popular and a personal favorite of mine. After all, fursuiting is just another form of cosplay. We're simply dressing as characters of our own creation rather than ones somebody else made up. And I really like combining costumes with my fursuit to blur the lines and help bridge the gap in people's minds. Here is a photo from a shoot I did as Diva from Overwatch in her carbon fiber skin. As you can see, I set up a bunch of video game cases, some Mountain Dew and Doritos, simple props you have lying around the house that help flesh out your scene a little more. As well, we have Fangorn, who is dressed as a Jedi Knight from Star Wars, complete with a working lightsaber and some space-related paraphernalia. It's more engaging than just sitting in a chair in a blank room. Bedroom posing is a tried and true fandom favorite. Also a valid option for the itty-bitty living space people. Even if you live in a dorm or apartment or somewhere without a lot of space, I'm fairly certain you have at least a bed to call your own. Things like coordinating bed sheets or stuffed animals that match your fursona's species can bring a little more character to your photos. And whether you choose to go for sleepy, cute, or even a little spicy, there's a whole gamut of moods you can convey with these type of pictures. If you're fortunate enough to be able to work from home, you can pop your fursuit on and snap some pictures showing what a typical workday is like for you. And even if this isn't the case, if you think it'd be fun or it would fit your fursona, you can totally set up a working from home set and do it anyway. It may sound silly to lay it out like this, but folks really do forget that you can just make things up for fun. I mean, look at me. I may not be a cheetah in real life, but I play one on the internet. Staging photos is totally an acceptable and viable option for any scenarios that your imagination can conjure. Playing with pets is a great one. Here we have Edward getting in some valuable pooch time, and Blue with his own beloved dog, whose appearance actually inspired the look of his own fursuit. The juxtaposition of real and costume animal gets so many reactions from folks online. Whether it be dogs, cats, ferrets, rats, birds, reptiles, even fish, if you share your home with pets, they can often make really fun and unique co-stars for your fursuit photo shoots. Keep in mind that animals can often react unpredictably to people in costume, so if you've never tried this before, take time to ensure your pet is accustomed to your fursuit and interacting with you while you're wearing it. You do not want a traumatized or injured pet or a damaged fursuit. Cooking is another fun photo shoot idea that ties into the hobbies I mentioned earlier. I'm doing a staged photo here, but there are some fursuiters who can and do actually make food in fursuit. I'll be touching on this topic again a little later on. Fursuit pictures don't need to be elaborate fantasy scenarios. You can just show people scenes from everyday life. This is something that doesn't require a lot of outside effort or preparation, which makes it quite accessible to every fursuiter at home. Here we have Captain Julius, who is a cuttlefish, sitting down to have a picnic and eating some sushi, which is an absolutely hilarious and creative idea that plays off the species of his fursona. Meanwhile, Ashram is in fursuit doing laundry, and what makes it even more unusual is that he's hanging up yet another fursuit. Again, there's so much potential for creativity here, and just the fact that a big animal is doing it can make even the most mundane task memorable and engaging for your audience. And finally, the tried and true selfie. No frills, no bells and whistles, just take a nice photo of yourself. Portraits like these are great for showing off different facial expressions or moods of your fursuit, as well as a really nice outfit or accessories for us partial fursuiters. Utilize what you have in your environment for these. Say you're taking pictures in front of a blank wall and want less negative space behind you. Use a poster or a cool art piece you have in your house that you can frame yourself in front of to make a more interesting shot. It is possible, if you want, to extend your fursuiting slightly beyond the confines of your home to public spaces. Public fursuiting is its own highly engaging and detailed topic, which I won't be delving very far into during this panel. Again, I point you in the direction of YouTube to find other FurryCon panels on that specific subject, given by highly experienced and talented furries more knowledgeable than I. Many fursuiters have reservations about fursuiting in public when not at a convention or other socially accepted setting. For those of you who may be more shy or hesitant about suiting outside, this may be your chance to try some new things. Please note that if you do choose to go outside for fursuiting and you wish to be safer and protect yourself and others from getting sick, wearing a protective face mask under your fursuit is a great first line of defense. Despite what some may think, the suit head itself is not a substitute for a mask. Fursuit heads are built to have the best possible ventilation and airflow, which is the exact opposite of what a medical mask is designed to do. A fursuit head doesn't filter anything and will not prevent the spread of viral particles. The great folks at COVID Safe Furs have some fantastic resources for you to check out. They've really done their research into easy and helpful ways that fursuiters can reduce the risk of getting sick. like masks that work best under fursuit heads, how to keep your risk low at cons and room parties, and cutting-edge future tools. We're all in this together. Let's keep looking out for each other. In addition to taking pictures, you can also make videos in your fursuit. A lot of the techniques and suggestions that I mentioned for photography can be applied to videography too. Again, much can be done with your own phone without the need for a camcorder or a designated video camera. I mentioned voice activation earlier, which can be used not only to take pictures, but also start recording a video completely hands-free. All the tips about tripods and using tools to stabilize your camera for photography certainly go hand in hand for video recording too. Editing your videos in post, you do not need paid or professional level software to do this. Videos can be edited with many social media apps if you're recording a video to post on your social media. Your phone itself will have a video editor that supports basic editing functions like cropping the screen, changing the lighting, cutting down the length. Maybe you need to cut out the beginning or the end where you took your fursuit paw off to stop the recording. You can just do that right in the video app itself. I'm going to reach through cyberspace and guess that whatever device you're using to watch this panel right now very likely has a camera built in. Boom, you're halfway there already. If you don't have a webcam or the built-in one is kind of crappy, buying one of your own is an option. This video is actually being recorded on a webcam I bought online. As you can see, the image quality is pretty darn good, and it was not very expensive at all. Free software can enable you to use your own phone as a webcam. This is good to keep in mind if you want to do group chats or live streaming in your fursuit, which I will talk more about later. Of course, if you don't want to record on your device itself, you can record videos on your phone and plug that into your computer to transfer the files over for later editing. If your videos involve talking, you'll probably want to use an external microphone to record sound. Fursuit heads, being something big and bulky that covers up your mouth, often muffle the voice and can make it hard for your audience to understand you. Fursuiters online use a variety of small, wireless or wired mics that can be placed inside of their fursuit head while they're talking. Or, like I'm doing in this picture, you can get an external mic within your price range and have that on a stand fairly close to your face to record audio while you're in fursuit. Then you can sync your audio track up to the video. There are free programs such as Audacity you can use to adjust your audio and clear up background noise or muffling that may occur due to your fursuit head. Another choice, which depends on what kind of video you're doing, is to record the audio separately, either beforehand or in post, and edit that into the video itself. If you're making a how-to video or something with a narration or voiceover, this will likely fit that format well. Remember, we're talking introductory stuff here. Your videos don't need to look or sound professional unless you're a pro streamer or you have a Patreon where people are literally paying you to make fursuit content. It's just something to have fun and keep active in your fursuit from home. So you do not need to focus on being the best of the best. The most important part is that you are having fun. What are some ideas for fursuit videos you can make? Short videos are very accessible and easy for folks to get right into. If you have an idea for a cute little skit, maybe your fursuit character is having a bad day, maybe they're trying something new and it goes well or it goes poorly, maybe they get locked outside while bringing in the mail and have to figure out a way back into the house. Fun stuff like that. Memes are obviously super popular and super easy to make videos about while in fursuit. Every day there's some new meme going around online. If you're looking for quick and fun things to do in your fursuit and keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the community, this is the way to go. Dance videos. Fursuit dancing is extremely popular and a big subculture in its own right within the furry community. I myself choose not to dance in fursuit. The public does not need to be subjected to that, let me tell you. But I have the utmost respect and admiration for those of us who have the skill to dance in fursuit and want to share their talents and expression with the world. If you have even the slightest modicum of dance talent, I recommend dancing in your fursuit. You can even do updates in your fursuit, talking about what's going on with your life, current events, how you're handling stuff, anything new or exciting that's going on. Where to post these videos you're making depends on where you're most active and what you want to do with them. Twitter is still a big site among the online furry community. The Fediverse is super hopping these days. I highly recommend getting on there if you don't use Mastodon already. The quality of interactions there is so much higher than on Birdsite. Video limitations will depend on your specific server, so be sure to check on that. Instagram is another great social media platform for short-form videos and one I also use. TikTok is a popular platform, though not one that I utilize, so I'm not super duper familiar with its features. TikTok's Duet is great for interactivity and inspiration. You can add on to things that other fursuiters are doing and collaborate. TikTok also has an audio library of songs, dialogue clips from movies, as well as user-created audio clips that can give you some more ideas for your fursuit videos. If you have more to say and do than can be crammed into just a few seconds, or you want your videos to stick around for a little longer than social media usually offers, longer format videos expand your content creation possibilities. For instance, I run a YouTube channel where I do a series called Cheetah Chat with Shetani. I talk about different topics of interest pertaining to the furry community that you don't see other people talking about too much. You can check that out if you like at youtube.com/Shetani. Discussion videos and talking head style videos are quite popular. Almost everyone has knowledge or opinions that they'd like to share with the community. How-tos are another thing you can do. I mentioned Buttercup earlier, who runs a baking and recipe series, all of which is being done in fursuit, of course. If you have any talents or hobbies, like playing a musical instrument, for instance, maybe there's a skill you have and you can do that in fursuit to be more engaging. There's crafting, building, pretty much anything that you can do in your fursuit, you can show others how to do it too. Reaction videos are a thing, doing vlogs. If you yourself aren't a very creative type, this is always an option for you. Though, your videos don't even need to be in these formats. You can do a short film in your fursuit. Perhaps your character is one that you've established a world and a universe for, or maybe there's a story that you want to be told, and you choose to do that through combining the medium of video with fursuiting. There are online furry film festivals that you can submit your films to, get them in front of a wider audience, and have the chance to win prizes and accolades for your work. Platforms for sharing this include YouTube, one of the biggest and most well-known online video sites. This will get you a larger number of views if you choose to use it. YouTube's popularity can be both a blessing and a curse, as you'll get a very wide audience, but you can't control what types of people will see your videos. So you may have some bleed over outside of the furry community, which can lead to harassment, trolling, and other less than desirable interaction. Vimeo is another platform for longer videos. This one does not have a length limit for uploads, so if you've got something like a feature-length furry film that you've made, or you want to share a 6-hour video talking about why Star Wars is bad in your fursuit, you can do that as well. This platform is less restrictive in regards to content matching, which YouTube is notorious for. With Vimeo, you don't need to worry about that, but on the downside, it does have a much smaller user base. So you may not get as much organic traffic to your videos on there, and you might have to do a little bit of a hustle yourself with promoting them elsewhere. Piggybacking off of that, streaming is another thing you can do in your fursuit while you're at home, and you don't even need to leave your house to do it. Gaming is probably one of the most common streaming activities. Folks like to stream themselves playing all sorts of video games, card games, even tabletop games. It's a great way to make new friends, and money has even been raised for charities and good causes through donation streams hosted by furries in our community. I'm sure you all have been enjoying just a slice of the furry streaming community through the programming this weekend at the convention. This is another pastime I partake in as well on my aforementioned YouTube channel. I must say it really helps build that sense of community and friendship. You don't need a fursuit to live stream, but should you have one, the novelty is definitely engaging for your audience. Art can also be streamed online. We furries love to commission art of our characters, as well as watch the artists at work bringing masterpieces to life. A couple good friends of mine stream art while in fursuit, and being in fursuit while you make art can drive a lot of viewers to your stream. Interviews and podcasts are on the up and up these days. These are quite easy to set up remotely, and I've seen a lot of furries and fursuiters interviewing other fursuiters for podcasts and web series. I've taken part in a few myself. Just chatting is a popular category on Twitch for you Twitch streamers. Q&As, Ask Me Anythings, TMI Tuesdays, things where you interact with your online friends and followers and have them ask you questions to answer and drive the conversation. These are very popular as well. Many of the platforms I've mentioned earlier support live streaming in some capacity, those including YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as platforms that are specifically set up for hosting streams, like Discord and Twitch for gaming, and Picarto, which is geared more towards artists. If you filmed a longer format video or short format video, like the kinds I mentioned previously, you can snip short clips out of those and make them into GIFs for easy sharing online. Here are some cute examples of things you can do. Aries is playing and cuddling with their pet kitty cat, while Mark is giving us a very cute fuzzy lion wave. If you use Telegram or social media, you'll know how popular GIFs are for use as reaction images. And instead of searching through for the perfect one to capture the mood you're feeling, you can simply make your own using your fursuit. No need to pay someone $1 billion to make you a custom animated Telegram sticker. People react very well to these, and it's something more novel than just sending an emoji or a generic sticker of somebody else's character. You can use animated stickers on Telegram and even Discord now, which is pretty cool. Solo creations are all well and good, but what if you're looking for something more interactive? Public video projects are so much fun to participate in fursuit as well as host. If you're unfamiliar with the concept, in short, it's a creative project where many people come together to bring an idea to life. Someone comes up with a concept for a video they'd like to make, they ask their friends or put out a call on social media for like-minded individuals willing to participate. Everyone gets their part or instructions on what they need to do, they film their part, and the host puts all the submissions together into one collaborative project. Usually you'll see this taking the form of a music video, as the concept lends itself well to the format, but there's unlimited things you can do. If you're a fursuiter looking for such videos to participate in, keep an eye out for submission calls on sites like Twitter, Telegram chats, Discord servers, popular places for furries. If you can't find any to participate in, and you have an idea that you don't see people doing and you want to bring that to life, you yourself can host your own. All you need is to just get people to spread the word about your project, and I guarantee you other fursuiters will come and want to contribute. Let's take a look at some examples of public fursuiter video projects I've contributed to. Quarantine by Ringer is a project where Ringer, who is a musician, composed a song about what it's like being in quarantine, and for the visual took a bunch of clips of fursuiters just showing what they're doing in their daily life to fit the theme of the song and put it all together. If you'd like to check out the video yourself, there's a link to Ringer's YouTube page on screen. Rascal did a really cool series showcasing different fursuiters from around the world. This was a monumental undertaking that spanned something like 20 weeks and 2 separate volumes. The videos were hosted on TikTok, but you did not have to have a TikTok account to participate. So many different countries and continents were represented when the video project was done. It's such an amazing showcase of all the diversity we have in the furry community. Again, this is a prime idea of the type of fursuiting you can do and support without having to go out and travel. Rascal is a prolific public video project host. They do projects like these multiple times a year, usually for Pride Month and a Halloween one for the spooky season. So if you feel like you want to start getting involved with group fursuit video projects, definitely follow Rascal on social media. There will be lots of opportunities for you to join in and have fun. If you wish to do something a bit more technically advanced, a great example is Infernity, the Taiwanese furry convention, and their chain reaction video. For this, they ask participants to take a card, hold it up to the camera, not in fursuit, and then remove the card to show themselves in their fursuit. The person would then pass the card off screen to the next participant, and all videos were synced up. These type of transition videos, or videos with a common visual linking all the pieces, are very popular on TikTok and other apps right now. Like I said, this is kind of like advanced mode for group video projects. It's more technically complicated in that you are involving props, and the creator has to coordinate the direction in which each person in the lineup passes their card so that everything flowed together smoothly. But in the end, the final project was something really very, very impressive. Group video calls are a great way to socially engage. There's no reason to not do this in fursuit if you have other people that you're comfortable fursuiting with on camera. There are different platforms you can use if you want to start hosting group video chats on your own. Zoom, Telegram, Discord, I'm sure we're all well familiar with them at this point, but there's some basic info on screen just in case. This is typically where I share fursuit video call groups that you, the viewer, can join. Unfortunately, my previous go-tos have been suffering a dearth of activity lately. If you know of any active online fursuit groups, by all means, please get in touch with me after the panel. I will add them to my presentation. Let's not forget about online conventions. As you can see, I'm attending an online convention right now. I'm wearing a fursuit and having a great time. Many other virtual furry cons are hosted in a live format with events that you can participate in using your webcam. These can include online fursuit parades and fursuit meet and greets, like this one from a 2021 con I took part in. Dance competitions too. Here's a screenshot from the Anthrocon online dance competition. They took pre-recorded submissions beforehand and judged them live on stream. Though some VR chat cons have done actual live dance competitions with the help of body tracking technology. If you enter a fursuit dance comp, you'll likely be asked to record your submission video ahead of time. Costume contests are also a thing. Here we see Temperance doing a cosplay of a Khajiit from Elder Scrolls. And note, that's not a render, that is an honest-to-goodness fursuit that they actually entered into the Cosplay Central costume competition. Many video games, shows, and other media franchises have anthropomorphic animal characters or races. Depending on your species or the look of your fursuit, you can use accessories or outfits to adapt your persona into a cosplay character. As seen in this example, a lot of naturally colored felines can do double duty as a Khajiit. I have so many friends who dress up their fursuits as characters from Beastars or Zootopia. Many franchises feature werewolves, dragons, species like that. The sky's really the limit. If you need some inspiration as a fursuiter, what you really need to do is hang around some non-furries at an event and see what you get misidentified as the most. Yes, don't forget to look for comic conventions, anime conventions, or other nerd fandom events that may be hosting online versions. CozyCon is an example of a multi-fandom online convention that I and others have fursuited at. You don't have to limit yourself to only furry cons. So, you recorded a whole bunch of stuff in your fursuit. Where do you share it? Why, where the furries are, of course. And in this day and age, that means practically anywhere. Though, there are a few sites that are more frequented by furries and have a very large furry user base. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Mastodon, Reddit, Telegram, Discord. If you're a furry and you're on a certain platform, I guarantee you can find other furries there. Telegram and Discord specifically have tools you can use to search for furry groups. The Furless Telegram bot lists hundreds of furry groups and breaks them down by niche interest. So if you're looking for a group about furry YouTubers or cheetah fursuiters, or maybe, I don't know, furries from Singapore, just go ahead and do yourself a little keyword search. So it can be hard to motivate yourself to keep fursuiting when you see other people going to cons and having fun at events that you can't or choose not to take part in. We do as much as we can, but in the end, you're still isolated at home, not actually going out with friends. It can be mentally taxing to go through the effort of suiting up just to do a couple little fun things for social media. Try to motivate yourself to stay active by sticking to a schedule. Set personal goals such as, I'm going to post every Friday, or I'm going to post once a month at least. You don't have to be too ambitious, nor should you hold yourself up to other online posters as a rubric. Do what you are capable of while ensuring it's still fun for yourself. There are hashtag trends that you can follow on Twitter, Instagram, and other social media apps, like hashtag Fursuit Friday, where people post pictures of their fursuits on a weekly basis, and even tags tailored to people with suits from a specific maker, like hashtag Magpie Bones Monday in my case. Go ahead and capitalize on that. Use it as an excuse to make yourself get into fursuit if that helps. Say to yourself, oh, Friday's coming up. I promised myself I'd have a new picture to post. So that motivates you to get into your fursuit and make that content. Don't forget this is about being social. So in addition to just putting your own fursuit out there, interact with other fursuiters too. If a suitor you follow online posts a picture of them gaming, for instance, snap a photo of yourself in suit with your own controller and gaming headset on and comment, "Let's party up." Or take a picture of yourself in suit with a big armful of junk food. Sounds like fun, I'll bring the snacks. Start up a nice back and forth, build up a rapport, and that's how you form friendships and get connected with others in the fursuiting community without even meeting face to face. Look for virtual groups that meet on a regular basis. I mentioned some groups earlier that you can join where people get into fursuit and interact with each other. Remember that if you see a niche that needs filling, you can totally step up. Can't find a fursuit group? Why not start your own? But it's important to know your own limits and only do what you feel comfortable with. Fursuiting is meant to be a hobby that relieves stress. If you're just not feeling it one day, it's okay to skip a day of a chat group or something. Take care of yourself first and foremost. Take care of your physical and mental health. If you are not in the right mindset to fursuit, if it starts feeling more like a chore than a fun hobby, that's when you know that you need to step it back and recollect yourself, get your health back, and regain the right mindset before you go out and start suiting. Why even bother fursuiting if you're not attending in-person events? There are a ton of great reasons. First of all, maintenance of your fursuit. When you're putting the costume on and wearing it, you're going to have to maintain it afterwards. Fursuits can't be kept in a box or on a hanger for very long. They need regular upkeep. When there's a long span of time between conventions or events, we sometimes don't do that as much as we should. By going through the motions of fursuiting, you'll become aware of any rips or popped seams that need to be repaired. You'll have to brush out any knots from the fur, clean and disinfect it as you normally do to keep it in peak condition for when you do wish to go out with it. Suiting keeps you and your character in the public eye. If you don't post a lot on social media, your friends are going to start wondering what happened to you. Fursuit pictures and regular updates let people know that you're okay, you're not sick, and you're doing all right. There are those who make a primary or secondary income from the furry community through art conditions, merchandise sales, and things of that nature. If you have a fursuit, that can often serve as a mascot for your at-home business. Personally, I love seeing, for example, an artist announcing a new t-shirt or hoodie design, and they're using their fursuit to model it. When we can't go out to spend times with friends and family, furry or otherwise, it takes a toll on the psyche. Human beings need social interaction, and for many, it's hard to reach out to friends when you can feel your social skills backsliding over the trauma of the past few years. Fursuiting can be an avenue for that socialization. Even though we may not be able to do so in person, we can still communicate with each other online and fulfill that social interaction need. And finally, just wearing your fursuit makes you happy. The vast majority of furries don't fursuit at all. If you have a fursuit, that means you chose this path for a reason. Fursuiting is something that you enjoy. It's going to make you feel better, improve your mood, and promote positivity. Remember that the most important person for you to be suiting for is yourself. At this point, I'll be opening the floor to questions from you, the lovely audience. Typically, when I host this panel, this is when we transition to a Q&A session and discussion for the remainder of our allotted time. I couldn't perform a live broadcast with audience interaction this year, but please write all your burning questions in the designated channel, and I'll reply to them after the panel. Thank you so much for attending my panel. I hope you learned a little something new today. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback on the information I presented here today, please don't hesitate to contact me and let me know what you think. If you want to learn more about who I am, what I do, my fursuit, or the background behind my character, I do have a website you can check out. And if you enjoyed the panel I put on today and would like to show your appreciation, I have a Ko-fi page set up at ko-fi.com/Shetani for donations, and you can spot me a cup of tea or two. In addition, you can take a peek at my online Dealer's Den booth here in the Discord server, ask me questions there, and see what I have to offer. There may even be something special for con attendees. As mentioned, I plan to have a captioned recording of this panel available on my YouTube channel in the coming weeks, so you can rewatch at your leisure and share the information for friends who may not have been able to catch the live broadcast here at the convention. Thank you again so much for watching. Have fun, stay safe, and keep on suiting.